Okay, there is something I want to talk about today. But before I talk about this thing, I want to play this video so that you guys understand what I'm trying to talk about. Just watch this video.
My problem began with organized religion the moment I said there is nothing like seed and tapping by giving money. All hell broke loose. How can Dr. Damina say you don't need to give money to be blessed? You don't need to give to God for God to multiply your money. How can Dr. Damina be attacking our business empire? How can he be driving our customers away? We have been feeding on the ignorance of gullible Christians and deceiving them with a gospel that is not the gospel, a transactionary gospel that makes them think that the only way they can prosper is to give to God. And when they give, they don't prosper. They give them hope. They keep stretching. They keep changing the goalposts. And I said, it's fraud. There's nothing like that. All hell broke loose. And no, Dr. Damina is heretic. He's heretic. And they don't even know the definition of heresy.
Okay. Now, I believe you've watched the video and you understand what I'm saying. Now, there is a problem in Christianity. And this message, this problem is one of the reasons many people have lost faith in Christianity. Why? Because I've talked to a lot of people, and most of them, when I ask someone, do you go to church? They say, I don't go to church again. I say, why? I don't even need to ask them why. Majority of them always have the same answer. You see, people have lost faith because they were because what they were promised, they have not seen it. It's just like when we were doing the times they were doing Ultimate Cycler, all these network marketing something, MMM. You know, many people went into a particular network think with the promise, oh, you just bring your money, you will get three people. But they didn't tell them, okay, when you come, you will need to bring three people. Some leaders will say, when you come, just bring your money, you will get times 3 of your money. But without explaining to them that they will need to bring in people. So that is almost the same thing in Christianity. Like what Abel Damina just said, you know, the gospel they are preaching now is transactionally. It's a transactional gospel. The gospel that involves exchange of money. A gospel that involves exchange of money for one to be blessed. You know, when they organize all these conventions, they hire your money, they hire your blessing. These people, someone you go and give money, expecting that, you know, God would answer your prayer because you have given money. And at the end of the year, that prayer has not been answered. The next year, you still attend the same convention. Nothing has changed. Let me tell you something. God in heaven, if God answers your prayer, like God says he wants to give you material wealth, the one that will come from God, even 1% will make you the biggest man on earth, the richest man. We are talking about the creator of the universe here. But that is not how God works. And, you know, I always see any gospel that is not about salvation is not the gospel. It's not the gospel. You don't need to preach prosperity. You don't preach blessings. You don't preach healing. They come, you know, Jesus said, seek ye therefore the kingdom of God and his righteousness first. Every other thing will be added. It's not what you will seek. You won't seek wealth. You will not seek blessings. It will be added. The one you are to seek is the salvation. And that is what the church will preach. Jesus commissioned them to go and baptize and win souls for the kingdom, and not to, you know, go and be preaching prosperity. So the gullible people, they feel, see, when you work, you earn your salary. That is normal. That is not a blessing. That is not a blessing. When you provide a service, you get paid. That is not a blessing. That is normal. That is natural. Even unbelievers. Why unbelievers rich? That is it. You know, that is not a blessing. Because that one, you are getting paid for what you have offered. You are offering value. There is no way you don't get paid. So it is not a blessing. It is not the answer to your prayer. No. Why most people have lost faith in Christianity is because churches has become business centers. They portray themselves as where people go to get wealth. So when these people go like this and they don't get wealthy, they lose faith because what they were promised is not what they have seen. But if churches would go back to what God expected them to preach, which is only salvation, Elon Musk can make anybody rich. If you go to meet Elon Musk now and he gives you $10 million, you are rich. Does that mean he's God? No. If you get sick, you go to the hospital, the doctor treats you and you get well. The doctor has healed you. Is it God? No. The only thing that God can give, that no human being, no spirit can give, is salvation. Salvation of the soul. That's the only thing Jesus gives. So, that is the gospel the church should preach. Prosperity is not in church. See, I'm not an Abel Damina follower, but you see, in majority of his gospels, there is truth. Let the churches rise up and preach Christ. Churches should leave business. See, being a pastor is not a profession. It's a call to serve God. Don't monetize it. Paul said, I use my hand to work so that I will not be a burden unto you. He was working while even writing all the epistles, visiting all the churches. He was working. So when do your business, because when a pastor has money, when a pastor does not depend on members to give him tithe and offering, he will preach the right gospel. But when a pastor depends on the members, he will preach what the members want to hear. So, being a pastor is not a profession. It's a cult. You are serving God. You are a servant. Don't arrogate yourself, bring yourself to the position of semi-God. It's wrong. So, this thing Abel Damina said is the reason most people have lost faith in Christianity. They have stayed back from churches because they were promised the wrong thing. And the small money they had, they invested. The pastor got richer while they were poor. Let the church start preaching what God said they should, what Jesus commissioned the church to preach. That was saving souls, salvation. There's no gospel like prosperity. There is no gospel like blessing. There's no gospel like breakthrough. The only gospel is salvation. So I really wanted to talk about this. My happiness is that many people are beginning to come to the awareness of these things. They are beginning to come to the awareness of these things. And very soon, I believe God has a plan for Christians. Because the church must always work stronger. These people will be weeded out. A pastor is rich. He has a church, one of the most expensive churches. But most of us, when we were growing up, our grandparents, our parents, they benefited from the churches from Catholic built some local schools, which our grandfathers, they benefited for it. It was almost free. That is what church should do. And not having a school that is more expensive than what the average, the poor, the common members can afford. The church should be a place of succor, where the people that lack money, people that lack anything, would go to get help. And not where it's only for the rich. They provide a school, the rich can only afford. The poor cannot afford. So I wanted to talk about this Abel Damina's message and said that this is one of the problems that many people lose faith in Christianity because the wrong message has been preached for so long. It is time for us to come back to reality. If you want to get rich, learn a profession, learn a skill, put it into use, open a business, start slowly, start small. God will guide you. That's where the blessings of God comes in. He will give you ideas. He said, I will give you ideas to make wealth. God doesn't make wealth. He gives you ideas to make wealth. So when you use those ideas God gave you, that is the blessings of God. You will make wealth. Thank you. So that's all I wanted to say. Please, if this message sounds a little bit nice to you, please share this post. Share it to people. Share it on every page. Share it. Thank you.